Clutch has been installed. How's it going, y'all? Gozi here. Welcome back to the channel. Bringing you guys another update on how things are going here in the garage. I think this is part 4. So if you haven't seen part 3, 2, part 1, please go watch it. It'll give you guys a general understanding on how far we've come and how things are progressing here in the garage. On my last video, we had put my brother's car back together and I started tuning it, and it was nothing but the struggle. So the first hiccup was trying to figure out how to get the wideband reading to show up on HP tuners. So big shout out to Yuri from Grito's Garage, because he helped me figure it out. So pretty much my mistake was I was trying to wire it up like how I did mine on my car, which is the 4110. He's running the, I think it's a 3100 or the 3000 AEM Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever. And it just would not read. So Yuri was able to walk me through it, and it was smooth sailing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a separate video on how to wire up the 3100 or the 3000 and the 4110, how to wire it up properly to show up on your HP tuners for those of you who are curious and want to try something like this. And then my next hiccup was with the actual tuning process. So I'm not sure if you guys saw my last video. We installed the slot type MAV sensor. The car's an 05. It came with the honeycomb, so we felt like that was a little bit too restrictive. This is what the car came with: honeycomb style MAV sensor, and we swapped it out for the card slot type for better airflow. And that threw the readings way off, so I had to go in there and slowly calibrate, scale the MAV. Rob from South Florida Gearheads helped me realize what I was doing wrong. So I was base multiplying the EQ ratio onto my MAV frequency table by percent rather than by percent half. So I started doing that, and I was able to dial this bad boy in a little bit more effectively. So at this point, it's pretty much just rinse and repeat. So, you know, make the changes, flash it, data log some more, make some more changes. I think I probably flashed the car maybe 40 to 50 times now, and it's still a work in progress. This is my first time, so taking it slow, making small and subtle changes, and you know, we'll surely get there. When we first started, the car wouldn't have been idle properly. It would run so rich. So we're slowly but surely dialing this baby in. Has that been torqued? I went back and I replaced the cam retainer bolts. So now I'm gonna torque those down to, I believe it's 11 inch-pounds, or is it foot-pounds? I gotta recheck. And then throw on the sprocket and the chain. I didn't take off the chain guide, so hopefully it clears. If not, I'll take that off and bolt it back on after. I went ahead and installed the HCI balancer. Still waiting on push rods. Ordered those earlier today. I measured and I remeasured. And I remeasured again just to make sure, because I didn't want to order, you know, the wrong size, wait for it to get here just to find out that it's either too long or too short. While I was here, I figured I'd give you guys a brief look on how I had zeroed out my valve lash and set lifter preload. There are tons of videos on YouTube, tons of gouges on the forums that you guys can read up on for a more in-depth understanding of it. But like I said, I figured while I was here, I'd just give you guys a brief understanding on how this stuff works. Here's my Pushrod length checker. It is a 7.8 to an 8.8 Pushrod length check length. And I believe I got it from Amazon. I can add the description in the video. You can see up here, we have markings. And with each revolution of the Pushrod length checker, it adds 50 thousandths of an inch. So this would bring us to a 7.850. 7.900, so forth and so on. Here's my old cam, and your base circle is going to be at the bottom of the cam lobe. Here's the top. You want to be at the bottom of it. So you want your lifter to sit right here. Then you know you're at your base circle. For each of your cylinder, both intake and exhaust, you want to make sure that you have that cam at its base circle. So as one is opening up, the other is closing. So you want to make sure that you're constantly rotating it per each check. For my example, I'll be using cylinder 1's intake valve system, valve train, whatever. So first step will be to take out the rocker arm. You're going to grab your pushrod length checker Make sure it's properly seated in there. Use a flashlight to verify. The next step will be to rotate your crank to get that cam at its base circle. And you know you're there when you can start to feel the push rod length checker slowly sit further into the block until it doesn't go down anymore, but before it starts coming back up. So you want to get it like right there is a sweet spot. I'm going to rotate it. Starts pushing up and it goes back down. So right there. That is our base circle. So now you know that you're in your base circle. You're then going to take the push rod length checker out, and then you're going to start to do some guesswork. So we know factory length is a 7.850. This is a 7.800. I'm going to at least want to get it above that range because I already know I'm going to need longer push rods to make this work. How? Because I had my stock length and I had my stocks and it was too short. So let's take it up to an 8-inch push rod even and see what that does for us. So that'll be 4 rotations. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8-inch push rod. See if that works perfect or not. You're gonna screw this down, and you know your absorb valve lash when you can't move the rocker arm up or down, but you can still move it side to side. So right here we are at 0 valve lash. You're gonna want to torque this down to a 22 inch-pound. And here's the key. So you want the torque wrench to rotate at least 3/4 of a turn, but no more than 1 1/4. All right. So always start with the torque wrench south. That way I have a good point of reference. So that was pretty much 1.5 turns. So this tells me that my push rod length is too long. So we're gonna work our way back down. So I'm gonna take that back out and we're gonna work our way back down. I'm gonna take out 1 full rotation. Put that back in. Get it to 0 lash. Now I'm going to torque it again. So this was over 3/4 of a turn, but not quite past the 1 1/4. Technically, this would be within standards, but the way I was doing it, my sweet spot was 1 full rotation, and I kept that same method throughout every valve, every cylinder. So for me, this tells me that my push rod length is too short for my liking. I am now going to increase it by a 1/4 turn, which is half of 25. What is that? 12.5? Whatever, something like that. Yeah, 12.5. And then we can do the math later. I'm going to put that back in there. And now we're going to torque it down and see. Perfect. So 3 revolutions of the push rod length checker, and then I added a 1/4 turn, got me where I wanted. And then now I'm going to use that same measurement across each of these and then adjust as needed. Whatever push rod length you end up with, you want to add that preload. That way you don't end up buying push rods that are too short. So for me, with my Johnson 2116Rs, I need 35,000 of an inch plus or minus 10. This will ensure that I had the proper length push rod and I have properly set the preload on my lifters. I got the diff and trans back on, rear suspension buttoned up, brakes bled, muffler, well, exhaust put back on. As you can see, missing some tail lights. I can explain. And I gotta button up the insides. So all we're waiting for now is just the clutch and the push rods. Everything's been prepped, wiped down, looking clean. So picked up these, I don't know how to pronounce it, Morimoto whatever. I'm gonna be painting them just a light coat of black, you know, just smoked, and then I'm gonna throw them on. And also picked up a few carbon pieces for the bike, for the gas tank, and then the side. I don't know if I should get the front cowl carbon fiber as well. I think that'd be too much fiber. What do you guys think? I like it. It's growing on me. Looking fire. So I'm gonna paint these, throw them on, and keep it pushing.
3:28 a.m.
And welcome back. While waiting for the tail light secure, I did some mock fitment to see what length spark plug wires I would need. And also it kind of gave me a small idea of what the motor's gonna look like. It's looking pretty sweet. Also button up the insides. I got my wires out for my APVI 2 Pro Link. Ready to go. And then the tail lights. How do you guys like it? The car's a little dirty, it's a little dusty, but I think it came out pretty good. Nice and even. Looking good. We're getting there, we're getting there. The relocation kit is actually an Amazon special. I think it was like 70 bucks. Doesn't look too bad. I think I might end up replacing the coil packs anyway. I broke some of the pieces a while back. Motor looks so clean. It's coming along. It's coming along.